Okay, so today's date is the 3rd, and it's probably an hour later than what I recorded yesterday. I'm still trying to commit to this whole commitment thing that I've got going on with this whole audio-visual vlogging, or I guess in some sense. Last night was a bit of a fun night. I caught up with some mates. One of them's moving back over to Melbourne. We had a few drinks. I had 2 bottles of wine, so I was feeling a little bit tipsy, a little bit drunk. And that's okay. Every once in a while it's alright to do that, but we had some bad food, we had some pizza, and my body is starting to feel the effects of that kind of stuff. So I'm really starting to become aware of the negative things that I put into my body and how that affects it, and how my energy levels and all those kinds of things, and the effects and my output as a result from that. So I still haven't done my meditations today. Thanks, Mum, for interrupting. Funny story that she comes into the picture. So last night, I rode the bike, which you can probably see there. I had to ride my bike from the house that I stayed at, which is about a 40-kilometer ride, and that's a 20-kilogram bike. Really a pretty serious downhill bike. It was quite a difficult ride, but I rocked up to the train station at 7:30 in the morning to obviously come back home. And the guy at the front of the desk was just saying, "Look, bud, you can't come in. Obviously you can't bring the bike. It's peak hour, and you're just gonna have to wait until 9 o'clock." So I thought, look, I don't know if I can just sit around for an hour and a half and in a place that I'm not really familiar and away from my friend's house. So I just thought, look, let's make a challenge and let's just ride home, which was about a 35 to 40 kilometer ride trip. I sort of went past a lot of the old houses that I've lived in, my ex's house, my mum's house, which she's now calling me. None of them were home, not obviously that I was going to knock on my ex's door, but it was interesting to sort of ride through life in a sense and watch people sort of going through their day-to-day jobs and gardening and garden keepers at schools, and just being friendly and saying hello and doing things that I used to do back when I was young. I currently don't have a car, so I don't have a car that's working right now. I don't really want to go into that, but in any case, it was interesting when the man was telling me that I couldn't bring the bike. I was heavily trying to persuade him, is there any exceptions? Is there any way that you can write a note? Is there any way that I can do something to somehow make it possible that I can get on the train? And it was just a flat out no. And I was getting not frustrated with the man, but I was getting frustrated with the system. I was getting frustrated that a service that I was paying for was not being able to be used by myself. And so I definitely was getting a little bit frustrated, but then I saw the challenges of going and actually doing the ride itself. And now I've got that as something, as a memory of something that I've done and something that was of value to me in some sense. I wanted to talk about how really in life there's no shortcuts. There's things like your savings account for your life savings for when you get older, your super, and all these kinds of things. The only way that it's going to happen is really if you commit, here we go again, if you commit and actually follow through with your original plan and idea of this is what I need to do, this is what I need to achieve to, receive some form of reward, like a later reward for later on in your life. It's not instant gratification. That's the word I'm looking for. And in this day and age, kids these days have got Instagram, and I'm sure most of us have Instagram and all this kind of stuff, and it's very much based on how much likes we get, what's our social standing, how do we sort of place ourselves above other people. And I think that's sort of the wrong way and wrong attitude, and I think that's the wrong direction that this modern society is heading towards. I feel like there's, you've got your IQ, your intellect, IQ? Yeah, your intellectual sort of intelligence, and then you've also got your emotional intelligence. And I think emotional intelligence is the thing that we need to work on most. It's probably the thing we neglect the most in this technological age. Gee, I'm making a lot of mistakes. I apologize for that. I haven't done my meditation. I haven't had my tea yet. I'm feeling a little bit hungover. And I just really wanted to talk for a few minutes, really just sort of describe my thought process for this morning. So to the man that didn't let me get onto the train, thank you for that. I'm glad I never ever got upset with you. I'm glad that in some way you have impacted my life in a positive way, and hopefully that's brought through other people as well. Hopefully that continues on. So guys, thanks very much. Hopefully tomorrow's insight is a little bit more well thought out, a little bit more well said, and hopefully you enjoyed this for what it was. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.